What's up, America? YouTube, all our followers. First, let me start out by saying hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and click all. And every video that we post,
all content
will be sent to your cell phone automatically, so you will know every time we have new content.
Alrighty.
Today, me and Lo decided to talk about police. Worldwide police. Versus African Americans. Now, follow me. You cannot be a police officer,
right,
and be scary.
That's
the problem
Don't
with this
take
whole
the job
thing.
if your blood is nervous.
You can't be a scary shot. Every time you make a routine traffic stop, you don't need, if we pull out a brush, a cell phone, a ink pen, you can't always just think that's a gun
or something to hurt
and
you.
Fire extreme amount of bullets, even if it was a gun. To shoot 7 times, 8 times, 10 times is ridiculous.
That's excessive in most people's eyes.
And a lot of these police officers, when they are found guilty, they just go to another police force.
Reassignment is what it's called.
They quit, but nothing really happens.
Paid vacation is what that's called.
So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, basically. And it's yesterday, well, not yesterday, the other day, the Capitol building. That was the worst policing I have ever seen in my entire life. They literally let these people through the barriers to attack the Capitol. For what? What was the reason you attack the Capitol? No reason. You had no reason to do it. But the police didn't really stop it. Why wasn't the National Guard called in?
They were, wasn't
it? Again, why wasn't the National Guard called in? But had that had been some black perps, it would have been a smorgasbord, because they would have shot everyone. But these, you're seeing images of police running from perks. You have a gun, they didn't. Why the officer didn't let off slugs at least at one person? This is just me talking. But I would have slain one of them, headshot, because I don't play that you survive stuff. Headshot, one down, see what the rest do. Because they would have got the message. But the officer that was on the video had restraint, I guess, or was probably ordered not to shoot. Because that's ridiculous. They're in the Capitol. The country capital. I'm not talking about somewhere outside. I'm talking about the country's capital doing treasonous acts of violence. And in all of that, one person, which was a cop, ended up dying. 5 people died and 1 was a cop. Come on, man. Serious, y'all gotta be better than that. This has been going on for a long time. Ever since Trayvon Martin. I don't care. Zimmerman wasn't an officer, but he wanted to say he was doing a citizen's arrest. Come on, man. Y'all let that happen. You let it go. A kid walking home from the store who had just bought something and who was just jumping over yards to get home, to take a shortcut home, was stopped by some dude that wanted to play cop, ended up dead, and the guy that shot him get to walk free. Then you got Colin Kaepernick, NFL player, takes a knee, protests in silence for police brutality. He's damn near evicted and blackballed and never can come back to the NFL at all. Over sitting, kneeling peacefully, not saying anything, don't got a bullhorn, announcing what he's kneeling for, just doing it silently, and he's ridiculed by millions of you Americans, is what you want to call yourselves, or patriots. He's ridiculed for sitting there and talk without saying no words. Really? Then we got Tamir Rice, a little boy playing in the park by himself with a BB gun. The cops rolled up on him and shot him without even asking him his name. 11 years old, shot dead by police. Let's fast forward to recent times. Ahmaud Arbery jogging down a street while black, chased down, shot by two guys saying they were doing a citizen's arrest. One was a former officer. Really? And then we got Elijah McClain, who to me, in my heart, is the most saddest case out of all of these. He was, first and foremost, he was special needs. And he went to the store just to purchase himself some items to take back home. Somebody called and said because he has a blood, his blood is cold, so he's bulimic, and he wore a ski mask and stuff to keep him warm. He was deemed suspicious by some caller. The police then tried to arrest him and murdered him. Really? And then we got Breonna Taylor. She was at her own home. Cops didn't even knock. All they did was start shooting in our own home. This treatment of us and the treatment of them isn't American. It isn't patriotic. It isn't civil. It's uncivil. And we are tired of it at this point. I know personally I am. Because I noticed the treatment between them and people of color. You a person of color, you get to see the gun and may get a bullet. You're not. All you do is get talked to or talked down. I wish I could show you some videos that I know about, especially a case in Arizona where the cops tried to talk this white dude down and end up getting shot. They wouldn't have did that with no brothers. They would have came out there. They came and knocked on the door with their guns. But they tried to actually talk this guy down, and he ended up killing the police commander. That's sad, but it's true. And this type of division and this type of hypocrisy and this double standard, it needs to go. I'm tired of it. I'm really tired of it. And to elaborate more on the situation that happened in Washington with the 5 people dead, I really don't have any feelings about it. Because the cops and those people that did that within themselves, they deserve that. But that's where I'm at. That's where you put me. Because you don't handle the situations with us the same way you handle with them. I'm going to say it one last time. If that were BLM marching on the Capitol and did that, they would have been prepared. They would have every type of police enforcement or army out there waiting for Black Lives Matter or any other black group that wanted to do something stupid and breach the Capitol. They've been shot. There've been more people shot. We probably at this time would still be tallying up how many people were shot and killed. So miss me with that. Oh, it's equality or the cops are doing right. No, they weren't. A cop died yesterday believing that crap probably. Believing that these people were good people, because they're not. Everybody that marched on the Capitol should be arrested and serve some type of prison time. That's my opinion. What you guys say about it, Jay?
And on top of what Lo said, police, it's got to be a better way. I should not feel like I'm scared to leave the house. I shouldn't feel like every time the police pulls behind you, like, should I feel like I'm about to die, being an African American? Mm-hmm. And that's the whole issue with this thing. Now, I don't know where this came from, but it's getting worse over the past 3 years. We pay through taxes you guys a salary to be able to protect
and serve
us, no matter race, creed, or whatever. So where did all the violence come in at? Number 2, when did shooting became the number 1 form of protection for police? They give you tasers, they give you rubber bullets, they give you batons. When has shooting always been the first initial response to anything?
Lethal.
This is the problem that African Americans have with police. This is why. And it goes back now to the 60s, to all them sticking the dogs on us, water hoses, throwing us on the ground, our mothers, family, friends, everybody.
Embarrassed in front of everybody. Dehumanized is with the word.
But these past 3 years, it has been totally out of order.
just madness.
And it's getting to the point where, like, should I feel like when I leave the house I'm gonna be murdered? Should it feel like I have to look over my shoulder because I'm feeling like I'm being stalked or hunted like a deer? Is that right? So all fair-skinned people, if you look at this, if you look at the situations that's been happening, you can't possibly believe or think that this is right from any officer. And I'm not against the police. I know it's bad police, it's good police. But it's all about your policing skills.
Exactly.
Because for me, I feel like this is what I would do if I was a police chief or whatever. If I hire a new police officer, I would have him go to the neighborhood where he's going to be policing and get to know everybody. Right. That way, you would know who has a mental illness, who has medical issues, who's on parole, who's this. That way, if you get out in the community and learn about where you're going to be policing, you won't be when something happens.
Nervous Jervis.
Because to shoot somebody that has a mental illness or shoot somebody because they're autistic is crazy. That's just crazy.
Yes, it is undoubtedly crazy. There is nothing. I mean, who does that? And you do it so much. It's been done so much. It's done so much now that it's like, it's unreal. But you call it another day. You call it another day in the streets. If you keep treating people like savages, they're going to respond like savages. That's what you do. You treat us like savages. You treat us like we're a threat. With no gun. How am I a threat to you when you have a gun and I don't?
Actually, you have 3 forms of protection. 4. You have a backup gun. You have your primary weapon. You have a backup gun. You have a baton. And you have a taser. You have 4 weapons to 0. But we're the threat.
I don't get that. That don't make sense. Make it make sense to me, because that's not what's happening out here on these streets.
And I get it. They train you, if you pull your weapon, shoot to kill. They train CPL holders, shoot to kill. I get it. But when is enough, and when is excessive force?
Right.
Because to shoot me in my back when I'm walking away or running or whatever,
cowardly.
You can't justify shooting someone in the back. I'm not a threat to you if my back is turned.
Exactly.
Police, you have to do better.
I know. And not in the optics. When I say optics, I mean, if you see a white perp committing the same crime that you think a black person would, why don't you follow out the same aggression that you would take on a black person onto them? That whole seizing and breaching the Capitol situation has changed everybody's perspective on the police. It's like you have to be careful with them, but you got to be really rough with us. Make that make sense to me. I'm serious. Make it make sense. Making me understand that we're all treated the same instead of treated differently. Because it seems like y'all get a lot aggressive when it's somebody of color. You get a lot more aggressive. But when it's somebody that's not fair, as Jamal would say it, fair skin, you ease up and try to make that person feel more comfortable so you can talk them down. Now that makes me think you think the person that has the brown skin is just a savage and he just don't understand nothing, or he can't understand it. And you make me think that the white person or the fair-skinned person is the person that'd be like, okay, I see your point. Don't you see the racism within that? Don't you see the double standard within that? Be better and make it make sense to me.
So that's it for today. Think about what we said. Take heed to it.
Think about it.
And the quote for today is, everybody can make mistakes. Life didn't come with instructions. Till the next time, peace, America.